Hello, boys and girls. Today we're going to be starting a new chapter in math, chapter 11, which is all about geometry and fraction concepts. Sorry. So we're going to start with a story. Usually when we start with a new concept or a new unit, because this is part of a new unit, we start with a story. And so the story is called A Farmer's Job, and it's by Tammy Morton. All right, so some of the first things I noticed is I noticed some shapes. I noticed different shapes in this picture. So if you would like, pause your video and see what shapes you can find on the barn or on the tractor or maybe in the background of the picture. A farmer's job is never done. Farmers are busy during all the seasons of the year. They grow fruits and vegetables for people to eat. What shapes do you see? So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to write some of the shapes that you see. So let's see if we can identify some shapes that we see. I see triangles, right? We could write down that we see triangles. We could write that we see squares. Also see rectangles. Not seeing any circles. So maybe triangles, rectangles, squares. All right, let's continue to the next page. In the spring, farmers get the fields ready. They plow the fields and fertilize the soil. They plant their seeds. What shapes do you see? So again, write down the name of any shapes that you see on the line below. So right down on the bottom on the line, you're going to write any shapes that you see right down here. So pause your video and do that. Last thing that it says on this page is, how is a farmer's work today different from long ago? Oh, that's a great question. In the summer, farmers take care of their crops. They make sure that the plants have enough water when it does not rain. What shapes do you see? So again, pause your video and write down the shapes that you see. At the bottom it says, why does a farmer need to know about changes in the weather? Why does a farmer need to know about changes in the weather? Great question. Why would they need to know that? So think on that for a sec. All right, next page. In the fall, farmers harvest many fruits and vegetables. They sell most of these fruits and vegetables to other people. What shapes do you see? Again, write down any shapes that you see on the line. Pause your video. At the bottom it says, why does a farmer grow more fruits and vegetables than his or her family can eat? Why would they do that? Let's continue to the next page. In the winter, farmers clear the fields and get ready for the next season. They plan on what they are going to plant. They check their machines. A farmer's job is never done. What shapes do you see? So again, write down any shapes that you see in the picture. Pause your video. At the bottom it says, why are the seasons important to a farmer? In the winter, farmers clear the fields and get ready for the next season. They plan what they are going to plant. They check their machines. A farmer's job is never done. What shapes do you see? Pause your video and write down any shapes that you see in the picture. Now think about the question, why are the seasons important to a farmer? Let's turn the page. All right, it says, write about the story. Look at the pictures of the farm objects. Draw a picture and write your own story about the objects. Tell about the shapes that the objects look like. Okay, so vocab review. We've got some shape names. We've got cylinder, cone, sphere, square, rectangular prism, cube, circle, triangle, rectangle, and prism. I think I said I did say rectangular prism. Okay, that's one word. Or two words, but one thing. So you're going to look at the picture of the farm objects and draw a picture right here and tell your own story about the objects and tell about the shapes that the objects look like. So you're going to pause your video and work through this page. And then you'll take a picture of it to turn it in. All right, on this page, you're going to draw a line to match the shape with the name. So what does this look like? Do you see a cylinder, a rectangular prism, or a circle? Same thing. Do you see a cylinder, a rectangular prism, or a circle? And then last one, again, do you see a cylinder, rectangular prism, or a circle? So I'm going to help you with this last one. How about the hay bales, to me, look like a rectangular prism. Down here it says circle each shape that has a curved surface. So do cylinders have a curved surface? How about cubes? Do spheres have a curved surface? Or rectangular prisms? Or cones? Circle the ones that have a curved surface. Let's go to the next page. And so we get our big intro page that you're used to seeing. It says geometry and fraction concepts. Curious about math. Hot air rises. A balloon filled with hot air will float up into the sky. Some balloons look as though they have two-dimensional shapes on them. Name some two-dimensional shapes, then draw some examples of them. So that's not necessary right here, unless you'd like to, right? You could see that right here there's a triangular prism, right? So I'm going to draw a triangular prism right here on my page. Kind of a funky triangular prism, I think. Let's see if I can make it better. I haven't drawn one of these in a long time. Let's see if I can do it. There we go. We can draw a cylinder. All right, let's go to the next page. Show what you know. This is the part you get to do all on your own, no help from any adults, but I will tell you what to do. Number 1, circle the shape that has 2 equal parts, so looking at these. Number 2, again, circle the shape that has 2 equal parts. Number 3, I want you to circle each sphere. So looking at this picture, this is a sphere. Circle any spheres that you see down here. Same thing with number 4, except you're going to circle any cubes that you see. Circle any cubes that you see in these regular objects. Next section, circle all the shapes that match the shape name. So I want you to circle all the triangles in this row and all the rectangles in this row. Circle all the triangles in this row. Circle all the rectangles in this row. Okay, this will be one of the pages you turn in. Vocab builder. So we have review words. I read, you read. Equal parts. Shape. Rectangle. Triangle. And square. It says visualize it. Draw pictures to complete the graphic organizer. So draw me some shapes, okay, that have equal parts. So give me some examples of shapes with equal parts, okay? So I'll go first, okay? I'm going to draw a square, and I'm going to draw it cut up in equal parts, right? You could pretend that it's a brownie, and you're going to share it with 4 friends, so they have to be equal parts. You draw me some more shapes that have equal parts, and then I'm going to show that same brownie, and I'm going to show it so it's not equal, right? It's not a fair share for all the friends. So now it's not equal because these 2 parts are bigger. So these are not examples of equal parts. So draw some examples of equal parts and draw some shapes that are examples of not equal parts. So go ahead and pause your video and do that. And then down here at the bottom it says understand vocabulary. Draw a shape to match the shape name. So draw me a rectangle, a triangle, and a square. So go ahead and pause your video, draw a rectangle, triangle, and a square. All right, let's go to the next page. So we got a game. We always have a game at the beginning of a new chapter. And so you'll need a die. You'll need counters, 10 and 10. And you're going to play with a partner. So you might play with an older adult, older brother or sister. But here are the directions. It says toss the die. If you toss her a 1 or a 2, you have to roll again. So 1s and 2s, we don't want those. Okay, so we roll. This time we could get a 3, 4, 5, or 6. So look for a shape that has the same number of sides as the number you tossed. put one of your counters on that shape. So if I roll a 3, I would put a counter on the triangle. Take turns, cover all the shapes. The player with more counters on the board wins. So if I roll a 3 and there's no more triangles, then I don't get to cover any shapes. Okay? And so you keep playing until everything's covered. All right, let's go to the next page. So you would pause your video, and this would be a great time to go play the game, or finish and then come back and play the game. Here's some vocabulary we're going to learn this chapter. I read, you read. Angle, cube, edge, fourth of, cone, cylinder, face, fourths. Then half of, hexagon, quadrilateral, rectangular prism, halves, pentagon, quarter of, side. And then some more words. Sphere, thirds, third of, oops, and vertex, vertices, which is more than one vertex. We'll go to the next page. And we're going to skip this page. We're not going to do anything with this. But you are going to do this one the right way. We always do the right way. It says reflect. Choose one idea, write about it in this space down here below. Okay, draw and write about all the words. Use a separate piece of paper for your drawings. So you don't have to use a separate piece. You could do your drawings up here maybe, or wherever you like on the page. Okay, so it says draw and write about all of the words. The second idea you can write about, it says choose one of these shapes. Write 3 things you know about it. So you could write 3 things you know about a quadrilateral, 3 things you know about a pentagon, or 3 things you know about a hexagon. The last choice you could write about is explain how you know the difference between halves, thirds, and fourths. Then draw pictures on a separate piece of paper if you need to. So those are your choices of things to write about, and then you'll make sure you take a picture of this to turn it in. And that is your last thing that you need to do today.